Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to what is going to surely be another fabulous FRIEREN Friday. So this week we are checking out episode number 12. We are moving through the north, continuing through the north, through the checkpoint and everything. We have passed the mountain area where it was very snowy. It was like a 6-month winter, which slowed us down for a very long time. Obviously, we met a wonderful new character called Kraft, someone who is shrouded in a lot of mystery. And while I had the break between last week and this week, I did come up with a little theory as to who he might be. And that theory being that I think there's a chance that, much like FRIEREN, he could have been in a party of heroes who was going to fight the Demon King. And I say much like FRIEREN because obviously FRIEREN was in the heroes party. While I was working on the edit for this video and everything, I suddenly got reminded of the fact that Eizen mentioned in maybe episode 7, 8, 6, 7 or 8, something like that. Anyway, I feel like it might have been 5 or 6 actually, now that I think about it. And he mentioned that the hero of the South, the strongest, humanity's strongest soldier essentially, had been killed. And because of just that line, I don't think it was throwaway. I think that this mention was important because everything has been important in FRIEREN so far. There's been no mistaken lines. There's been no, oh, we'll just put this here and it's a red herring sort of thing. Like, everything has been important. And so I think that there's a chance that Kraft might have been in Hero of the South's party. And yeah, I don't have anything to back it up. I'm just literally going off of vibes. I'm going off of ideas, kind of just trajectory jumping. And yeah, that's my little theory anyway. Who knows if it's going to be right or not? I suppose we'll find out together. But yeah, that's all I really got to say before I jump into this episode. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I certainly am. I'm really excited for this episode to see what comes next in this next transitionary period for FRIEREN. We are marching towards the school where we will be graded based on our magic, and yeah, it's going to be a fun ride. We'll hopefully run into some more interesting and fun characters. Maybe we'll finally meet a healer at some point. Maybe we'll meet the healer at the school, who knows. But yeah, let's just dive right into this. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below letting me know what manga you're reading, if you're reading any manga that is currently ongoing, or if you're just reading something that is finished and you're only reading it now. I'd love to hear what you guys have been reading and catching up on, everything like that. And yeah, we're just going to dive into this episode. So here we go, FRIEREN episode 12. Let's go. I'd also just like to apologize if the lighting is kind of really shitty right now. I have like the lights off that I would normally use because it's really hot. As you could probably tell, the fact I'm not wearing a jumper or a hoodie for the first time in a very, very long time on the channel. So yeah, I just like to keep lights off so that I don't sweat my ass off during this recording. So I apologize for the shitty lighting. This is the only video I will be recording today. So on the channel, you know, hopefully this lighting won't show up again in the future. But yeah, we're just going to check this out. Here we go. All right, here we go. Time to see what we get this time. Episode 12, our real hero, real human being. 29 years after the death of Himmel the hero in the Schwer Mountains located in the northern lands. Holy shit, I can't believe we're drive posting in episode 12 of FRIEREN. This FRIEREN is falling. See, she's sleepwalking. Hi, have you been like awake since like 5 in the morning? Like, is it because she woke up early? Aww. Oh shit, yeah, I never even thought about that. We'll carry her like that and walk forward. He's such a good guy. Oh my god, that's so weird. Fern, come on. I'm sure there's a reason. The party of heroes. Are we going to disobey the king? Oh, this is before they head off. We'll just have to earn money on our adventure. The hero's sword. Ah.
昔村に来た行商人を魔物から助けた時にお礼でもらったものだ。未来の勇者にってね。 村の孤児院にハイターってムカつくやつがいて、偽物の剣しか持っていないから偽物の勇者にしかなれない。
They were friends since they were children.
じゃあ本物になってもいいじゃないか。そう思ったんだ。
This little brat named Hider.
僕はいつか本物の勇者の剣を手に入れて魔王を打ち倒
Is
す。
the real hero's sword the hero of the South sword, or is it something else entirely?
あんなことを言っていたハイターは今や酒ばかり飲んでいる偽物のソウルだ。本物です。
Forget about I'm a real priest. Forget about fake heroes. We got fake priests over here. Aw. All these fond memories. Look at them all. And FRIEREN. Oh, that was sweet.
山の天気を甘く見すぎた。
Shouldn't FRIEREN be okay with the cold, you know, considering her literal name translation?
いい匂い。
Oh, that's exactly what Stark said.
さすがに運びっぱなしで疲れただろう。フェレン、変わるぜ。
Come on, Stark.
エッチ。
Fern. He's not a perv. He's offering his help.
なんでだよ。
Yeah, literally. I mean, like, yeah, he was a little weird with his but come on, we know what Stark's really like. He strikes me as the least pervy character in the series. He's just too, like, unaware to be
お待ちしており
pervy.
ました。フリーレン様。君は今の外をさ
In your face. Oh my god.
49代目です。
It's a
世襲のもので
child.
里の外に
It's a
壊
literal
れた小屋があ
baby.
ったね。山の主の仕業です。
The Lord of the Mountains. Isn't that like actual Japanese kind of mythology? Like a big boar
勇
or
者の剣を
something?
守っていた里だ。この里の近くの聖域には女神様が授けたとされる
Shit.
勇者の剣が刺さっていた。
I'm sure FRIEREN, you know all about that.
歴史上のどんな英雄たちを
Sword
引
in
き
the
抜こう
stone.
としても微動だにしなかった。80年前まではな。
Oh. Himmel was able to pull it? What?
勇者の剣を引き抜けるのはこの世界を滅ぼす大いなる災いを打ち払う勇者のみ。
Oh shit.
その剣を引き抜いたのがヒンメル様なのですね。
そうだぜ。結構有名な
It'd be
話なんだ
really
けど
funny if it was
聞いたこと
actually
ないのか
FRIEREN that broke the stone and they were able to just pull it out.
半世紀後にまた来てもらう約束だったのに。
Oh shit, you're here
本当
early?
の私でもさすがにブチギレですよ。
I'm pissed off!
先々代のおばあ様の遺言で
That's funny.
私は80年後でも大丈夫だと言ったんだけどね。お役目って何ですか？魔物退治だよ。
Oh shit, we're gonna drive
この
off
里の周
the
辺には定期的に魔物
kind of
が
monsters. I thought it was gonna be the
特に最近は山の主が暴れて大
the
変
Lord
だ
of
っ
the
たんです
Mountain.
から。
I could think of like a bunch of different series with mentions of Lord of the Mountain within anime. Oh shit. Jeez. Holy. Zoltrak! Of course, FRIEREN flying above all of it.
里が近いってのに魔物だらけだな。
Is it to do with the sword? Is the sword like something that they want to destroy because they know of its strength and its power or something like that?
フリーレン、これって
Is that the Lord of the Mountain? Oh, it's big. That's a big boy.
主です。
Cool design. I like the design for it. Like it's very
なるほど。
blended in. Like
知
it.
らないわけだ。新顔だね。たった80年で主すら
A lord. Oh shit. The arm is gone.
人使い荒すぎるだろ。
But I like the design because it's white, so it literally would blend in and camouflage itself in this kind of area. Oh shit, it's already dead. Damn, that was like easy work right there.
これでお役目は終わりだね。
Now we can go. Bye.
フリーレン、
Does FRIEREN recall that monster from 80 years ago?
あれは勇者の剣だ。
魔物が集まっていたのはこいつのせいだよ。
But I thought Himmel took it. Is going to be the next question.
ヒンメルはこの剣を抜けなかったんだ。
Shit.
今回の勇者も本物ではありませんでしたか？
That's really sad.
いいじゃないか。偽物の勇者で。
Aww.
僕は魔王を倒して世界の平和を取り戻す。
His positivity.
偽物だろうが
Yeah.
本物だろうが関
I
係な
love
い
his positivity. He just has like the most positive outlook on life and just everything in general. He never feels
あんな
put
剣が
down.
なくたって世界
He
を
saved the world. Exactly. But still, there's someone who will save the world from calamity.
その事実を隠しているのですか
And who is that going to
ヒ
be?
メルを英雄に従ってる連中の仕業かな。英雄というのはどうしても後世の連中が勝手に美化していく。
You romanticize those memories. Don't pretend otherwise, Freerin. Stark, are you gonna try and pull it? But I can't imagine you using anything other than your axe. But I would like to see you try. I would love to see Stark try. Ooh. What was that? That did not look like Stark. Was that Stark? Something to do with his childhood before he met Eisen? When he ran away after his village was destroyed?
じゃあまた半世紀後に。
50.
今度は遅れないでくださいよ。
29 years after the death of Himmel the hero in the Appetit region located in the northern lands.
じゃあ宿に荷物置いたら夜まで自由行動ね。
It's a shame we didn't get to see Stark try, but I don't think that's important. I think the message is that you don't need this sword to be a hero.
今日はシュタルクの18歳の誕生日だから。
Stark's 18? You remember his
なん
birthday?
でそういうこと事前に教えてくれないんですか
Look at her just kicking her
私
feet.
何も準備していませんよ。シュタルク様の欲しいものがわかりません。
A jumbo berry pie or whatever it's called.
ちなみにフリーレン様は何をプレゼントするつもりなんですか
Why'd they animate that so well?
手置きだよ。
Oh? Wow, she's actually really excited. I love seeing this side of Frieren.
服だけ溶かす薬。男ってのはね、こういうの渡しておけば喜ぶ
Oh
んだよ。
no.
って先生が言ってた。
I don't think Stark's that kind of guy.
何？フェルンも興味ある？この下品な薬買った時に私返品しろ
That's
って
really
言いましたよ
funny.
ね。
It's funny because
この薬。
valuable. Frieren is literally just doing what she was told men enjoy. She doesn't understand men. And she's just trying to do something nice for Stark, thinking that that's something he would like. What's this little ring? Is this from Himmel?
あ、
Did that say Stark on
こ
it?
れがあったか。
シュタルク様。
He went to retrieve the sword. He went to take the sword. Or he went to try
戦
anyway.
士様かい？荷車を押すのを手伝ってくれてね。確か広場の方へ向かって行ったよ。
ついさっきまで俺たちと遊んでたぜ。
He's such a good guy. He was doing all these nice
力を入れなくなってい
things.
たところを
Aww.
助けてもらったんです。
Just without having to be asked, I bet.
たくさん人助けしている。
Because he's a good person. You give him so much shit, Fern.
シュタルク様があんなエッチな薬
Yeah,
を
I
飲んで
I
喜ぶの
agree.
か
I don't think that's something he would really care for. He just takes life as it comes. I don't think he's like a creepy guy or anything. Oh, the smile. Just to see him relaxing in such a normal
シュタルク
way.
様。
Oh my god. Never mind. But like, you're right.
血だった。
No.
マジかよ。あっちは海。
違う。
He's just a child.
後でフェルンに教えてやろう。
リアクションに困るよ。
フェルン、ちょうどいいところにあの雲さ。
The deadpan
なん
stare.
でもないです。
シュタルク様、何か欲しいものとかありますか？
なんで？
今日がシュタルク様の誕生日だからです。
そうだっけ。
Oh, he
そ
doesn't
れと
even
欲しい
care
ものに
about
何の
those
関係
things.
があるんだ？
He's never celebrated his
シュタルク
birthday.
様の誕生日プレゼントです。
え？何かくれんの？
やっぱりなんかムカつくからあげない。
She's got so little patience. She's so real for that though.
俺、誕生日にプレゼントとかもらったことがないんだ。あ、
そういった風習だったのですか？
いや、単に俺が大事にされていなかったんだろうな。俺の故郷は戦士の村でさ、弱いやつの居場所なんかなかった。
シュトルツを見習え。怪我どころか返り血一つ泥一つさえ跳ねていない。
Holy shit. That looked like the big boar from Princess
こ
Mononoke.
の村最強の戦士の証。
Oh, little baby Stark.
それに比べてシュタルク、あいつは失敗作だ。毎日あれだけ修行しているというのに、まだ一度も魔物とまともに戦えていない。
He's a baby. Leave him alone. Stoltz looks like... I'm pretty sure he's in the opening.
具体に稽古をつけてくる。
あまりいじめてやるなよ。
Aw.
俺は先に帰る。時間の無駄だ。
The voice actors do sound familiar, but I'm bad at this. Aww, the pure white cape to indicate that he's the strongest is being dirtied. Oh, he's being kind. Okay, that's good.
お前はきっと強くなる。でも少し構えが悪いな。
そういえば兄貴だけは違った。
He actually learned from his brother. It was his first teacher, really. And you ran away,
故
yeah.
郷が魔族に襲われた時、そんな兄貴も見捨てて逃げちまった。
You were a baby.
家族から祝ってもらえなくて当然かもな。俺は逃げてばかりの失敗作だ。
You can't look at it that way.
ヒンメル
Look
だ
at
った
how
ら
much
きっ
has
と言えなかった。
過去なんて関係ありません。私の見てきた戦士シュタルクは
That's true. He stands his ground and he
こ
fights.
の先逃げるかもしれねえぞ。
私たちが許し
Nope.
ません。
Yep. I was gonna say she's not gonna let you do
選ば
that.
ない
She's
なら
gonna be there.
勝手に選びますよ。
You're gonna be a great warrior, Stark. You already are a great warrior. Jumbo Berry special. Oh, he's got a little bracelet. That's nice.
おかえり。遅かったね。
フリーレン様、何ですかこのバカみたいなでかいハンバー
Holy
ガー
shit, those are burgers?
何言ってんだよ。誕生日と言ったらこれだろ。師匠もプレゼントはくれなかったけど、
A big meal.
誕生日のハンバーグだけは作ってくれたな。
Hamburg
どういう
steaks.
ことですか？
シュタルク、アイゼンから聞いてないの？戦士ってのは不器用だね。
フリーレン様がそれを言うんです
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't we all a little awkward?
私も不器用だからわかる。バカだよね。
I'm an awkward fellow
思いってい
after
うの
all.
は言葉にしないと伝わらないのに。誰かの誕生日のたびにバカみたいにでかいハンバーグを作ってる。
Oh, that's how he celebrates.
これは俺の地方の
It's
風
a
習でな。
dwarf
精一
thing.
杯頑張った戦士をねぎらうための
Ah,
贈
that's
り物
cool.
だ。俺からの誕生日プレゼントみたいなもんだ。
I like that.
でも
That's really
アイゼン
cool.
僕たちは戦士じゃないぞ。
Doesn't matter.
頑張った者は皆戦士だ。
精一杯
The title of warrior is just a title after all.
何作ってんだ？
ハンバーグ。誕生日だろ。
Oh, that's
親父たちには
nice.
内緒だぜ。
Wow, it actually has been a tradition in his life.
逃げろ、シュタルク。
He was told to run.
お前は生きるんだ。
Even if he didn't want to. That's so sad. Stoltz, you were a good brother. You were a great hero.
アイゼンからレシピをもらったんだよね。
Oh,
美味しい？
I'm gonna cry. The smile. Oh god.
まだ少し残っている。また
No.
頭からかけますよ。フリーレン様。
ああ、何それ。
シュタルク様には関係ありません。
Don't worry about it.
え、どういう？
エッチ。
What's it do? What do you mean perv? He doesn't know what it does. He
いや
just
だから
asks.
なんでだって。
At this point, yeah, after being called perv twice, I'd be wondering, what the hell am I a perv for? Come on, tell me. And that was episode number 12 of FRIEREN Beyond Journey's End. What a beautiful story being told within this episode here. It was really a story about heroism, what makes a hero, what makes someone who they are. And yeah, it was just really beautifully and well told here, where it was definitely telling us that even the strongest hero, the best hero that has graced maybe this planet in the past 100 years, Himmel the hero, you know, I'm assuming at this point, I know that there's been mention of the hero of the South, and there's probably been other very strong and important heroes, but the one who killed and took down the Demon King, surely that's going to count for something, right? And even he was not deemed worthy to remove the sword from the stone. And who knows, maybe this sword in the stone isn't even relevant or important. Maybe it's literally just an object, something seen as important. And maybe just like with the stories of Himmel being the one to remove the sword from the stone that had been told over the past 80 years, maybe just like that, this story of the sword being the heroes and whoever can remove it from the stone will stave off the calamity and everything like that. Maybe that is also just fabricated and a story told over time. You know, like, I feel like that's very plausible considering what we saw in this episode. It felt like it was kind of telling us that this whole idea of don't believe everything you hear. You know, stories passed over time, they change, they become huge, they become grander than they ever should have been. And you know, like, this whole idea of, oh, to be a true hero, you need to be able to retrieve this sword, to remove the sword. Himmel proved that wrong. He proved that to be bullshit because he killed the Demon King and he became a true hero, a hero celebrated by many. And surely that is the idea of a true hero, not someone who can retrieve a sword. So yeah, I really like the message within this episode that anyone can be a hero. We saw Stark as a little baby struggling to even do anything. He even swung wildly when he was trying to show off in front of his brother, and he has obviously gone on to do incredible things. He is now an amazing warrior. Sorry, forget the lighting. Let me just turn a light on. I didn't want to turn this light on because it creates heat and I don't really want extra heat in the room, but you know, it hopefully won't be for long, so I'll be fine. The episode starts in a very interesting way. It starts with FRIEREN basically collapsing out of exhaustion. She is tired and she's sleeping as she's walking basically, and Stark is offering to carry her, and Fern is very like, no, keep your hands to yourself. And it's strange because I don't really get a read in this moment if she is doing this because she thinks Stark is being creepy and weird, or she's doing this for her own reasons. It seems like it's for her own reasons, but the words she is using as she is saying why kind of indicate that it's because she thinks Stark is being creepy and weird. And obviously that comes up across the episode where she calls him a perv several times and stuff like that. But then we do flash back to as FRIEREN is sleeping. It seems that she is recalling these events in her sleep of the beginning of their journey, where they went to the king and asked for help, some sort of currency, change, money, something that can help them on their journey, and they were only simply given 10 copper pieces. And the reason for that is probably because, like they said here, so many have gone and failed. So why is the king going to waste valuable resources on what will probably be another failed attempt? You know, it just seems like the king would be throwing away money at that point. But Himmel continues to show that he always looks at things in a positive light. He doesn't let that bring him down. He doesn't let that weigh on his mind. He simply says, well, we're going to have to earn our money, and that's fine because that makes this an adventure. That makes this a journey, and we're going to have to earn our money. We're going to have to earn our way to the Demon King and defeat them. As he pulls out a sword, and that's when I think it's FRIEREN who says, is it FRIEREN that says it looks like the sword of the hero? Yeah, FRIEREN says that's the hero's sword, and Heiter almost immediately is like, that's a replica, it's not real. And it's then when we learn that Himmel, even at a very young age, saved someone's life, saved a merchant's life, and was given this sword as a reward. And Himmel has been using this sword, and because he has been using this sword, Heiter, when he was very young, an orphan in the orphanage, said to Himmel, hey, you'll never be a true hero. You'll always be a fake hero, just like the sword you wield. And that burned a fire under Himmel's ass to prove Heiter wrong. And I think that that's a really funny story. The fact that you can almost attribute this whole journey to Himmel just wanting to prove someone wrong, prove Heiter wrong. I can be a hero and I'm going to prove it to you. And at the time, his idea of proving he could be a hero was retrieving the sword. But as I've already discussed during this post-hoc analysis, being a hero it's not about retrieving the sword. That is not the point. It's about your actions. It's through the way you prove yourself. And that kind of gets tied together with the words of Eizen later in the episode when he talks about what makes a hero. A hero is not a title. It is, or not a hero, a warrior. A warrior is not a title. It's someone who does good for others. I could be paraphrasing. I could be messing up the wording there, but I feel like the whole title of a hero, title of a warrior, they can be interchangeable with one another. And really it's just about what you do to earn that title. It's not about how you earn the title. It's about the things that you do. And we then do see that Frieren is recalling these moments with a real beauty and grace. She sees Himmel standing in front of an open blue sky, just like his name would suggest, and there are petals flying by, and it's a very romanticized, idealized version of a recollection of these events. I do not know if this is literally how it appeared to her in these moments. The way that it's presented to us, it almost is like she sees Himmel in these moments and realizes something. She realizes the beauty and the strength and the courage and the power of his person, that he is a great being. He is a very incredible person. It's the way it looks to us in these moments, but maybe this is just her recalling these moments in a romanticized way. We don't, I think, get that confirmation, and the fact that we do get a mention later on about romanticization, forgive me for butchering that. I can't remember exactly when the use of that is mentioned, but it almost makes me think that that's kind of what that's maybe referring to, that thinking back to the past, you do put on your rose-colored glasses or whatever that saying is, and you remember things in a much more positive way and fonder than you maybe did at the time. Maybe you were a little miserable at times, but looking back, you only remember the good. And we meet the new chief of this village, who is a literal child, and the child tells us that the Lord of the Mountains has been unruly, and that there are several monsters within the area. And of course, to us, that seems like, okay, well, we're just going to dispatch of that and we're going to move on. And that kind of is what happens. But we do learn that within this village, very close to this village, there's a town which housed a cave that had the sword of the hero within it. The sword that Himmel wanted to retrieve and become a true hero. But of course, everyone knows that Himmel retrieved that sword and became a hero, right? That's the story everyone tells. But on a little tangent, I'll talk, I guess, a little bit about the Lord of the Mountains. And obviously when I hear that, I think about several anime series. I think about Princess Mononoke. I think there's the King of the Mountains within that series, or the Lord of the Mountains. I think about Kimetsu no Yaiba, of course, with Inosuke. And I think about One Piece as well, because of a certain arc much later on in the series where that whole thing kind of happens. It's pretty cool to see that there's like mythology taken from like actual Japan and stuff within this series, because it's obviously set within a European setting, I would say, with all the names and the locations and everything like that. It's very European. So to see that there's actual mythology from different locations present within the series, I think it's cool. It's like a little melting pot of everything, and I think that that's a really great way to do it, because everything feels kind of foreign. It's got these different foreign influences, and it makes it feel like its own unique world where it's not just all set in one location. It's taking ideas from different places. And we learn that the story of this sword is the hero sword can only be pulled from the stone by the hero who will drive off the world the great calamity bent on destroying the world. Surely you would assume that would have been the Demon King, if this story is true, this prophecy, which it probably is. And I think that's literally the whole point and message of this episode, that stories and messages passed down through time, everything romanticized, not necessarily true. And it's just word of mouth at that point. And so what can you really believe? You can just only be a hero based on the actions that you do. And I think that the whole idea of this sword is kind of just an idea. It's an idealized idea, right? But then there's also the chance that maybe it's true and this great calamity has not yet hit yet. And someone will show up with a sword and someone will save the day using the sword. Someone will stave off the calamity. We see a nice little animation sequence of them taking down the monsters, and of course the Lord of the Mountains shows up, and Frieren is like, only 80 years and you call yourself a lord? And I don't know if that's referring to a memory where she recalls this monster in particular 80 years ago, or if it's more so like the idea of, how can you call yourself a lord? It's only been 80 years, you know, like you needed to wait longer. I don't know. I don't really know, because titles are, like I've been saying this whole episode, I think that the point of this episode is that titles are given to people by others. Himmel obviously says he will earn the right to be called a hero. Eizen says that a warrior is someone who does great things, all of this. And so it seems to me that the whole point is that this title of Lord was not a title that this monster in particular gave itself. It's a title that was given by others. And Himmel the hero was a title given by others. Eizen the warrior was the title given by others. You know, it's like history is just repeating itself, and it's showing that that even happens within monsters. It happens in every realm, every walk of life. The idea of titles being given is present, and you don't need this big fancy thing to be given that title. All it takes is to earn it through your actions. But they take it down very easily anyway. It's seemingly no problem whatsoever. And that's when Stark realizes, hey, the sword is still in the stone in there. What's that about? And Frieren just immediately is like, yeah, Himmel didn't retrieve the sword. That did not happen. That's just a romanticized story that's been told over time, passed down by others, and that did not really happen. What really happened is Himmel showed up here, he tried, and he failed just like many others over the course of history. And we then cut back to the moment where Himmel failed. We don't see him trying to pull it out. We just cut to the point after he tried, and he says, well, doesn't matter if I'm a fake hero or not. I'm going to defeat the Demon King, and then it won't matter whether people say I'm fake or not. I've done a great thing. And yeah, it's a really positive way to look at that. It's a positive outlook. I love the way he thinks. I love his just constant rising above doubt and hate and being set back. The fact he didn't retrieve this sword means nothing. He's got a replica, and that replica will stand for something, because if it is the sword of the hero, whether he has the real sword or not, doesn't matter. The sword that people see, they might think it's the real deal, and that might give them hope. That might give them energy. That might give them positive feelings. And yeah, he's just an incredible character. I really, really love Himmel's character. I think he's so incredibly well written, and nothing has ever felt like it's been betraying his character. Every time we see him, it feels like it's further strengthening and building upon the character that we already know. Like, it's amazing, and I really, really do love this character so much. So then fast forward a little more, we leave, we say that Frieren says she'll be back in 50 years, and the little girl is like, don't be late this time, because apparently she was 30 years late this time around. She was supposed to be here 30 years ago, after a half decade, but instead she showed up 80 years later. And it's pretty funny because, like, yeah, like that's funny, but also it's pretty sad, because the next time Frieren comes here, she probably won't be with Stark, she probably won't be with Fern, and she might be alone, or she might be with a new party doing something new. Like, it just feels sad to think about the future that Frieren might have without those that she loves and cares for. But we learn that it's going to be Stark's birthday, and with it being Stark's birthday, he's going to be 18, so it's a pretty big one. And Fern is like, why didn't you tell me? I need to do something for him. And then she's like, well, did you have something in mind, Frieren? And Frieren, I've never seen her this excited before. She jumps out of bed and runs over with a big smile on her face, knowing, like, I'm gonna give this guy the best present he's ever had. And she goes to retrieve a little potion, and she says, yeah, my master told me that all guys love this potion. This is something Stark's gonna love. And she's so blissfully unaware of the creepiness and perviness of this, but she is simply recalling something she's been told by her master. She thinks that she's doing something good, and we learn that it's a potion that will dissolve clothing and nothing else. So it is very pervy, and this kind of goes back to Fern calling Stark a perv. And then of course Fern pours it over Frieren's head very comically, then heads off to go find Stark to find out what he wants for his birthday. But before that, we do see that Frieren eyes up a little ring, and I don't know what this ring is. I'm going to be paying attention to characters that I see in the future now to see if I can notice a ring, because I suspect this ring might be Himmel's, but I don't have any proof of that. It's simply guesswork. But then she does come across this letter and this note, and we don't know what this note is, but she says, oh, I forgot I had this. And then we cut away to follows Fern as she's going through the whole town, finding out that Stark has done so many great things for people. He's been helping, he's been kind, he's been playing, he's been doing so much good for other people, being very selfless. And she's like, wow, maybe he actually is a good person after all, and he definitely would not have wanted that nasty ass potion. And then we stumble across him looking up at the clouds, and she smiles and she's like, yeah, he's a good person. And he's like, whoa, that cloud looks like it has boobies. And yeah, he's a child, because then he talks about it looking like a pile of shite. And yeah, he's just a literal child, and that's what Fern realizes here. Then she approaches him and she's like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? And that's when Stark says, oh, I don't know anything about this tradition. I was never given anything for my birthday. I was never made aware that this was an important thing. This was something that people celebrated, people gave gifts, anything like that. I don't know anything about that. You don't know shit about that, right? And Fern is very surprised by that. Stark kind of then tells Fern that when he was young, his family didn't like him because he was a weak warrior. His village was full of tough warriors. And then he, almost in that same recollection of memories, recalls that his brother was kind to him. His brother was a good person. And it's nice to know that even at that young age, he had someone who was patient. He had someone who was kind, and someone who was willing to teach him and not give him shit for his shortcomings. And his brother was the best warrior in that town, in that village. But of course, all he can remember is that when push came to shove, he ran when demons attacked his village. He abandoned his brother, he abandoned his family, he abandoned the whole village. But Stark is basically told to, you know, lift your head, because your past does not make you who you are. Who you are right now, and I know who you are right now because I have seen you stand your ground. I've seen you fight. I've seen you do great things. Fern is just a great voice right here, because we've never really seen her talk like this to Stark, so this must come as a surprise, and it must prove to Stark that she's being genuine in these moments. She truly believes what she's saying. She says she will not let him flee in the future. She will be there standing next to him to make sure he stands his ground and fights. And I think it's such a cute, beautiful moment to see that she is saying like, hey, we're going to get through this together. It's no longer you versus the world, it's us. We are going to fight together. We will always be standing next to each other as we fight, and we will do things our way together. I just love the message there. So Stark goes and he picks out a little bracelet, a little silver bracelet, and that's when they return to the inn that they are staying in with Frieren, and Frieren has cooked up these huge burgers, like I'm talking massive burger steaks, right? And Fern is surprised, like, why did you cook these up? And that's when Stark says, wait, what are you talking about? This is how people celebrate birthdays. Because then we learn that throughout his life, his brother would cook him these burger steaks. Eizen would cook everybody for their birthdays these burger steaks, and that is what he is used to. That is what he associates with a birthday. And it's just beautiful to see that he actually did have a celebration. He had a tradition, and this is what that tradition was for him. And we cut to Eizen sharing these with Frieren and the party, and he says that these are a gift to warriors who have worked hard. And Frieren's like, what do you mean warriors? Like, we're not warriors. You're the warrior here. You're the one that is Eizen the warrior. I'm a mage, that's a hero, and that's a priest. And in less words she says that, but Eisen hits us with the everyone who works hard is a warrior. It's a title, right? It's simply a title, and you can give that title to others based on your idea of what makes someone that title. And everyone here has been working hard. And I definitely started tearing up here, because then we also see that Stark's big bro also cooked him up these burgers. And yeah, it's just so touching to see that. And then it's just really sad after that, because we do see a scene where Stoltz and the other villagers are standing against these demons. And I think it looked like it could have been Qual, but I could be wrong here, who they were standing against, who had attacked this town, this village. Stoltz tells Stark to run. You need to live. And that is Stoltz protecting his brother, because he knows that Stark could not hold his own right now. He would not be able to fight this thing. And he tells Stark to run. Get out of here, run, live. It's so touching, beautiful, sad, tragic, and just awful all at the same time, because we know Stark did not want to. He did not want to abandon his brother based on what we see in this little flashback scene. But Stark seemingly has forgotten those important details and only remembers the fact that he abandoned everyone, and he carries that weight with him. And so then we cut to the table again, where Frieren asks, is it good? And Stark simply says, yeah. That would have been a really beautiful way to end this episode. Just end it right there. But we do have a little goof and a little gaff right at the end with Frieren saying, hey, I have some of this potion left over too. It's real pervy. And yeah, we cut back to Stark being called a perv by Fern and not knowing why. And it does end in a very lighthearted way. And it did have me laughing. But yeah, the story told within this episode was an absolute beautiful one. And yeah, this was a great episode. Definitely a highlight for sure for the series. It continues to strengthen its case as the #1 anime of all time on my anime list. I'm starting to understand why more and more as time goes on, why that could be the case. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me for today. I'm going to wrap this one up. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe and comment down below letting me know which manga you have been reading recently. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up right here. So I hope that you guys have been having a great day and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.